Once again, a very good morning to each and every one of you. Are you hearing me? I know you are. So if you are hearing me, I'm going to ask you to kindly take your seats because we are officially ready to get the first part of our program going. So for those of you who are standing, I'm going to invite you to take your seats. I know a number of persons are on their way in, so I'm inviting you to make your way in at this time. Have your seat. We have a number of very important pre-hackathon discussions to go. So I'm inviting you now to go ahead and kindly take your seat. And as you do that, let me take the opportunity to say a very special welcome to each and every one of you. My name is Javon Keys, and the pleasure is mine to be your master of ceremonies for this part of the program. And I want you to now take the opportunity to give yourselves a round of applause for being here for our second Intellibus Hackathon. Now I'm going to try that again, because if that's the applause you're going to give yourselves, then I wonder the applause you're going to be giving anybody else that comes to this stage. So let me try that again. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here this morning. And as we are on the cusp of our Heroes Day celebration, I want you to pause for a second. Have any of you ever thought about how you would feel if you are in a point at any juncture in life that is historic? How do you feel when you're at a place or experiencing something historic? What's that feeling that you have? Have you ever thought about that? Well, how about you appreciate that whatever feeling you're feeling right now is that? Because this morning is in fact historic, because you are participating in the largest hackathon of its kind in the English-speaking Caribbean. Yes. So earlier this year, Intellibus took on the mammoth task of transforming the AC Marriott Hotel right here in Kingston, Jamaica, where you are, to invite more than 300 participants in what was then the largest hackathon of its kind. And this year we have more than 1,100 registrants. Yes, that deserves an applause. And those of you in this room are a part of that. So I won't spend much more time to laud and talk about how historic it is, but you do know that here at Intellibus, we're big on ensuring that we engender a kind of spirit of development, and we're so happy to welcome each and every one of you here. Now at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a number of keynote speakers to go through, and I want to take the opportunity to invite our very first speaker, and he's joining us online, and his name is Rory Sutherland. He is Vice Chair of the Ogilvy UK, a behavioral science evangelist and author. And Rory helped build Ogilvy's behavioral science practice, blending psychology and marketing to find the small tweaks that produce outsized effects. He's the mind behind the surprising power of ideas that don't make sense, and also writes regularly for the spectator. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please put your hands together for first virtual speaker, Rory Sutherland.
Hello, everybody in Kingston. It's an absolute honor to be here, and I only wish I could be there in person. I'm going to try and visit Jamaica later on this year. If you can just slow the first slide, I'll explain. I've only had one slide. I'm going to keep everything very, very simple. But there's one slide I want to show. Is it up on the screen? You can see it, can you? Yep, it's appearing now. Whenever you have a problem, always consider that the solution may not be technological, it may be psychological. Now, if you recognize me at all, it may be from a TED talk I gave in 2009, where I said, why are we spending £6 billion making a train faster, when with only £10 million, we could put Wi-Fi on the train? Now, that wouldn't change the length of the journey in duration. It wouldn't change the quantity of time you spent on the train, but it would change the quality of time we spent on the train. Because if you had really good Wi-Fi on the train, you could either entertain yourself by watching YouTube, or for that matter, you could get on with some work. And since you'd probably be working anyway if you weren't on the train, that means that your journey is practically instantaneous, because you were doing anyway what you would have been doing had you not been traveling, but you were traveling at the same time. And so one thing, which, by the way, I think is very important to understand if you're going to work with AI, is that for AI, in a way, is a little like text, predictive text, which is what really matters if you want to get the value from it with predictive text is you've got to get the first letter right. I live near a place called Abergavenny in Wales, and I was trying to route on Google Maps to Abergavenny, and I typed the first letter as a Q instead of an A. The rest of it I typed perfectly. But it had no idea. It was trying to find places in Iraq that began with a Q, because despite the fact that I'd typed 95% of the word Abergavenny, I'd started in the wrong place. Now, in the same way, when you ask the AI to solve a problem, or to help you solve a problem, or to nudge you with more imaginative ideas towards solving a problem, it's absolutely essential that you get the first question right. And so it's absolutely essential that you don't make any assumptions about what the nature of the solution might be. And the reason for that is that in many, many cases, maybe you can solve the problem psychologically. Let's make the train journey more enjoyable, rather than technologically, let's make the train journey faster. I've just got an electric car. There's a problem with electric cars, which is range anxiety. And there are two ways you can cure range anxiety. You can either make the range bigger, or you can make the anxiety less. And I've argued that since we're spending $500 million a year trying to increase the range of electric cars, it might be sensible to spend 1% of that money, maybe £5 million, asking how can we stop people in electric cars being frightened of the fact that they're going to run out of electricity. And one of the things I said is, you know, when I look at the battery on my electric car, it's said this morning when I drove into London, it said 80%, and now it says 68%. Now, I don't need to know, to be honest, every 1% that I'm losing. If you just say 80% plus, 70% plus, 60% plus, that's good enough. I don't have to see every 1% of battery that I'm using up, because why? It will make me anxious. Yes, if I'm at 11%, I probably do need individual percentages. I don't need that when I'm at 80. And so always be very, very open-minded in the use of AI, that you are absolutely starting in the most interesting place, without any preconceptions about how you solve the problem, and that you've defined the problem really, really well. In other words, do you want to make a faster train? That's an assumption about the solution to a problem. Or do you want to make a train journey more attractive relative to a car journey? And after all, if you want lots of people to get out of their cars and get into a train, I understand you have a rail network in Jamaica too. If you want people to stop using cars and start using trains, there are lots of tools at your disposal. Some of them might be technological, some of them might be psychological. But when you look at this slide, it's really, really important that you understand that one of the reasons it's so easy to solve problems psychologically is that you can present people with exactly the same information, and depending on how you present that information, they'll react in a different way. And this is one of my favorite things invented in the last 10 to 15 years. And I show it in every presentation I can give for two reasons. It comes from the world of behavioral science and behavioral economics, and it's called a paceometer. I think A.L. Peer is one of the scientists who actually invented it. Now, we're all familiar. You may do it in kilometers per hour. Other scientists do it in meters per second. But we're all familiar with the thing in the middle, the black digits. That's a speedometer. And that shows speed as we've always looked at speed: distance per time, miles per hour, kilometers per hour, meters per second, light years, whatever it may be. Okay. They're all distance per time. And Pierre Ayal invented something which is the blue numbers around the outside. And he called this the paceometer. And that shows that exactly the same information, but it shows it the other way around. It shows it not in distance per time, it shows it in time per distance. And so in this case, he's chosen the measure minutes per 10 miles. How long will it take you at that speed to go 10 miles? Now, what you'll see if you look at the blue digits is you'll realize something which never occurred to you before, which is the faster you're going already, the less time you save by going a bit faster still. And that's why I show everybody this slide, because as I said, it illustrates my point about human perception, but it also could save somebody's life. Now, if you look at it, if you're going at 10 miles an hour, 10 miles will take you 60 minutes. And that's obvious because 60 minutes in an hour, 10 miles an hour, it'll take you 60 minutes to go 10 miles. If you accelerate to 20 miles an hour, now you're saving 30 minutes. Quite exciting. There's a lot you can do in 30 minutes. I'll leave that to your imagination. Okay. If you accelerate again to 30, you only save 10 minutes. And if you're already going at 60 miles an hour and you accelerate to 70, you're actually saving less than a minute. Now, that can change behavior, because if you think about it very simply, when you go faster and faster and faster, the risk of accident, braking distance, reaction time, the severity of an accident, your fuel consumption, all those things are going up exponentially. Your energy consumption is going up, your risk is going up. But the amount of time you're saving is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And so what I always say, I've got quite a fast car, and I have to look at this thing quite regularly to remind myself of the fact that once I'm on a motorway going at 70 miles an hour, actually, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference if I accelerate to 85. It feels really fast. I feel like I'm saving a huge amount of time. Actually, it doesn't make much difference. So I'm going to make two more points. Never forget that you can solve, if the problem you have to solve today involves some form of human behavior, you can do it by a technology, but you can also do it by communicating differently, by finding a really potent way to actually get your message across. And I'm going to argue that in the future, persuasion will become more and more important. Now, we have, as you have, a consciousness about environmental sustainability and the reduction of producing carbon dioxide. And I kept making the point, and for years nobody would listen. Well, you can reduce your CO2 emissions without changing your lifestyle at all, just by putting your washing machine or your dryer or your dishwasher or some of your other electrical appliances or your water heater. You just put them on at a different time of day, because in Britain, at 1 o'clock in the morning, probably 70% of our electricity is clean. And at 6 o'clock in the evening, probably 70% of it comes from fossil fuels. So all you have to do is get people to do it at a different time. And I went to a major economics conference, the Mont Pelerin Society, and I made this point. What happens with government is the same every time. They first of all go to lawyers who make it illegal to do something. Then if the lawyers fail, they go to economists who bribe people to do something. by, for example, cutting the cost of electricity overnight. Not a bad idea, by the way. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. And only if those two things fail do they consider going to advertising people, marketers, or psychologists. And my simple argument is, look, that's the wrong way round, because persuasion is obviously less liberty reducing and less annoying than compulsion. But also, the great thing about persuasion is if you've got a good reason not to be persuaded, you can ignore it. If someone makes electricity really expensive during the day, or they make it illegal to use a dryer during the day, or to put a water heater on during the day, there are always going to be 10 to 15 to 20% of people for whom effectively the mandated behavior doesn't make sense. Maybe you've got a washing machine that's above someone else's bedroom. You don't want to put the washing machine on at midnight because it'll hit the spin cycle at 1:30 in the morning and your neighbors will hate you. I made the point that if you made it mandatory that people only use their clothes dryers overnight, the first call you'll get will be from the London Fire Brigade, who'll say, look, 5% of the London population work nights, including, of course, many firemen. We don't want to encourage a load of firemen to leave the house at night with their tumble dryer on because it's a major fire risk. And so my argument is, if we're going to get better at using technology, we're going to have to get better at persuading people as well. Because technology often makes for opportunities which don't really get captured unless people change their behavior to fit. We're just going to have to get a lot better at behavioral change. And I'm going to end on a final point about this, which is with AI, you in Jamaica have an incredible leveling capacity because you'll have access to exactly the same AI technologies as everybody else. The only limit is your own imagination and your own genius. This isn't like most industrial revolutions, which is if you're not close to a really good energy source, you don't get to capitalize from it. This is a very geographically democratic revolution. Because actually, one of the things I would argue is that if you're from a different culture, if you have an unusual outlook on life, if you have a different take on life, if you have a different cultural tradition, this gives you an advantage because everybody else is going to get closer and closer and closer to a kind of high average thanks to AI. And it's going to take everybody to an 8 out of 10. But when everybody's at 8 out of 10, the only way to win is to hit 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. And that generally requires you not to be more rational, more conventional, more traditional. It actually requires you to be really, really different. And the last point I'm going to make is let's be a bit careful here. Because I'm very excited by AI without being absolutely confidently able to predict to what extent it will benefit us. And I think there are a lot of cases where it'll be problematic because everybody will look to AI for cost-saving solutions rather than money-making opportunities. But also, let's not assume, when we start on this hackathon today, let's not assume that AI is necessarily the most important technology to have happened in the last 20 years. It might be. Okay? It might be. But a very good economist wrote an article about 15 to 20 years ago, where he argued that in terms of the second order effects, the most important technology of the 20th century, if you exclude wartime technologies, was the washing machine. And everybody laughed at him and said, that's absolutely ridiculous. You know, you've taken a humble domestic appliance and you've claimed that it's more important than the internet. And the economist replied, yes, because until you had those domestic appliances, the vacuum cleaner, the washing machine, effectively, half of the population didn't have enough spare time to enter the workforce, mostly women in that case. But actually, the washing machine, in terms of its ultimate effects, was much, much more important than anyone realized at the time. People said, oh, it's just a convenience. Oh, it's just a luxury good. It's only 10, 15, 20 years later that you realize what really matters. And I'm going to make a point that there have always been lots of technologies, the metaverse, 3D TV, which promise great things, but don't really end up delivering. And I'm going to say that actually the most important technology of the last 25 years is actually Zoom. And if you're Jamaica, I want you to think about this a bit more, because one thing you've got which nobody else can steal is a pretty good climate, and you've got a pretty good time zone, and you're kind of wonderfully accessible from both Europe, certainly from the UK, and from the United States. And indeed, you can fly to lots of different places in the United States. Now, here's my point. Let's say I left university in 1988. I had some friends who went and worked for Goldman Sachs. They went and worked in banking. Now, I was earning £20,000 a year or £10,000 a year, and they were earning 50. There's no debate, really, over whether someone who's earning £50,000 a year in London is doing better than someone who's earning £10,000 a year in London, because, yes, they are. But is someone earning £30,000 in Jamaica worse off than someone earning £50,000 in London? Or someone earning £70,000 in Jamaica, are they worse off than someone earning £120,000 in London? I think the answer to that question is either no or I don't know. So suddenly, we've always talked about this business of people, very rich people, moving to a low tax jurisdiction. But we've also got the prospect of millions of highly talented people effectively saying, I don't want to move to a low tax jurisdiction. I'd just like to move to a low rent jurisdiction or a high quality of life jurisdiction or a jurisdiction with higher rates of sunshine or better music or more interesting culture or whatever it may be. And I would say, as an island, I think your population is about 3 million, if I've got that right. Most of the islands in the Caribbean may find this difficult. I think you might be big enough to make it a success. So whatever you're doing today, when you ask the question, what's the really important technology we can take advantage of, it may well be artificial intelligence. I wouldn't mark anyone down for doing that. It may not be that at all. It could be something completely different. The third example I'll give, by the way, is probably the biggest technology that's made a difference to my life in information technology is actually YouTube. The fact that anyone, anywhere can become a program maker, but not only that, they can have programs which all of us can watch at a time of our convenience. I think that's one of the most, the fact that video has become entirely democratized is, I would say, exactly as important as AI is in terms of the quality of my life. So whatever technology you want to use, don't necessarily go with the fashion. Because as I said, when everybody else is scoring 8, 8's not good enough anymore. You need a 9 or a 10. And to get to 9 or 10, you probably need to be a bit weird. You need to go against the flow. You need to ignore the prevailing fashions. You need to be willfully perverse, mischievous, or naughty. So that's my advice to you at what must be for you 9 o'clock in the morning. It has been an absolute joy speaking. I hope next April I'll be out in Jamaica in person, and it will be wonderful if I get to meet some of you. But for now, all best wishes, and thank you very much for inviting me.
One hand up. No, make some noise for Hanover on a back this up. Is anyone in the building from Westmoreland? St. James? St. James? All right, so we have 2 people in St. James. Let's make some noise for St. James. Is anybody here from Trelawney? So, make some noise, Miss Trelawney. I have to represent your parish. St. Anne, is St. Anne in the building? Anybody from St. Mary? Now I'm gonna go to Portland. Portland in the house. St. Thomas. And of course, we cannot do the parish roll call without saying Kingston and St. Andrew. We're so happy that you are all here. And we know we have a number of institutions in the house. We have a number of schools in the house. And I'm going to get myself in trouble if I start calling school names. But is UTech in the building? Is UE in the house? Let's hear it for, is Case here? Anybody from Case? Nobody from Case? Make some noise for Case same way. Anybody from UCC? Anyone? So let me go to the high schools now. Jamaica College, are you here? All right, Jamaica College, I must say we're a man, so we don't bother make no scream. So let me hear you say, who for JC? All right, I hear you, somewhere there. Is Kingston College represented here today? I see one lone KC soldier. No. Arden, are you here? But not Gallimore. All right, so I'm going to show my bias again. Is St. Jago in the building? Anybody from St. Catherine High? All right, so all schools, let's make some noise for every single school. There's so many schools here, and as I said, I get myself in trouble if I start calling every name, but we are so happy to have you here. Now, I'm going to ask you to keep that applause going as I ask you to help me make welcome the gentleman who's the brainchild behind Intellibus, a man with a wealth of experience and vision that's beyond this room and this universe. And he's going to tell us a little bit about what Intellibus is all about and also the vision behind this hackathon. And also, he's going to give you a warm welcome. So please put your hands together for Mr. Ed Wattle. And I have a rule, keep the applause going until he gets to the stage.
All right. So everybody feeling awakened after Rory's speech? If you're not awake already, everybody's got some coffee, some caffeine in, ready to go? Yeah? Coffee drinkers in the room, raise your hands. No? Come on, Blue Mountain Coffee, guys. This is Jamaica. Everybody drinks coffee. All right, so I just wanted to understand how many of us actually heard Rory speak? Actually heard what he was saying? Okay, we all did. Okay, what was good about it? What did you learn? You learned something? What did you learn? Go fast? Okay, but what was wrong? Was something wrong when that was going on? Did somebody notice a problem? The internet. Who said the internet? Okay, all right. How many of us use Digicel? How many of us use Flow? Okay, a lot of people use Flow. By the way, that was Flow. Except the Flow was broken. So you can have Flow, you can have Digicel, you can have any provider, but the Flow can be broken. Yeah? And that's what Intellibus is all about, fixing broken experiences. That's what Intellibus is about, fixing broken experiences. So we tried really hard, get 1,000 people in the room, try to get a vice chairman of a company to come and talk. Finally, we can't get the Wi-Fi to work. The Flow can be broken. So that can happen. Yeah, and no offense to Flow, great company. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to put the company down. But things can break, right? And stuff happens. I'm sure they worked very hard to put the Wi-Fi, but for some reason it didn't work. So the bottom line is that Intellibus is about that, about fixing broken experiences. And how do we do that? Anyone seen a broken experience coming here on the way? Tell me about it. Anyone stuck in traffic? No? Okay, it was too early in the morning. Anyone had to go over a pothole? Yeah, lots of potholes, right? So even though the government spends a lot of money fixing all the roads, there's still a lot of potholes everywhere. So anyone saw trash, garbage on the road when they were coming here? On the side of the road? Yeah? It looks good when you see it? No. No, right? That's not the Jamaica you want, yeah? Anybody wants that Jamaica with all the trash on the side of the road? Let me know. No. And I've come here with the belief that we can clean all that trash off our streets. And we can make Jamaica better than Singapore. Who wants Jamaica to be better than Singapore? All right. We have the right people in the room. I feel encouraged. And the reason we decided to do a bigger hackathon in the same year, I have people telling me, oh, last year's hackathon. So no, it was not last year. It was in March. We're doing the second one now. And you'll be wondering, what the hell? Why are we doing a second hackathon so quickly? Because despite all the good stuff like what you saw, the broken Wi-Fi still can happen. Yeah? And we need the power of every young person in the room to do that. Now, I'd like to call out one young man there. Aiden, why don't you stand up? Stand on the chair. Everybody needs to see how tall you are. He's standing on the chair, guys. Yeah. Okay. This is a 12-year-old young man from, probably some of you, when you stand, you'll be that tall. But he's still young, yeah? The reason he is here in the room, he won the Clarendon competition. Clarendon? No. Crack the code competition there. 12 years old, yeah? Another person who won the competition. You can sit. Another one who won the competition was a nurse. And guess who she beat? Who was number 2? A cybersecurity expert. Whoa, we're not saying much about cybersecurity experts here in Jamaica, are we? So now the point is, it's not that all cybersecurity experts will lose to nurses, but AI is a great up-leveler. And that's what Intellibus is about. It's about valuing the engineer inside you. It's not about the coder, the person who knows just to write code. Code just happens. Today AI is writing code, machines are writing code. Code is like plumbing. At some point, machines, I've almost seen robotics movies, Optimus Prime. Anybody? Yeah? Yeah, Optimus Prime will build stuff for us, He'll come around and build stuff. So what do? We are still needed as humans to fix broken experiences. And that's what Intellibus is about. And who fixes broken experiences? Who fixes that? You. But to fix something, you need to be an engineer. How many of us have heard the term software developer? Software developer, yeah? Do you want to be a software developer? No. What do you want to be? A software engineer. And what's the difference between a software developer and a software engineer? Easy way to remember. How many of us know about property developers? People who develop property, someone who created this building, yeah? Do they have to be an engineer to develop this property? No. They can Google their way through. They can figure it out. So if you're just Googling or GPTing your way through, you're not an engineer. You're a developer. But if you really want to be an engineer, you need to know how the stuff works. You're going to pop the hood of the car and see what's underneath. You need to be able to read code more than write, because machines will write code in the future. And machines will write code 10 times faster than you can. So what is the skill you really need to acquire? How to read code. How to know the code that the machine wrote is good or not. And for that, you have to be an engineer. And so if people tell you, oh, software engineering jobs are going away, oh, there's going to be no software developer jobs, they don't know what they're talking about. It's like saying, oh, the buildings will just construct by themselves. It's not going to happen, right? So the world of software is going to stay for a long, long time. And it's going to, in fact, grow. I'm predicting that 500 million new jobs will be created in the next decade around AI and software and AI services and AI-enabled activities around the economies in the world. And that's why we believe Jamaica is a great place to start. And there's a bigger reason why we are here. But I'll close with this. Next 24 hours to 36 hours, you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to get a lot of care from people. Last time we did the hackathon, we had 300 people in the room, but we had only 2 coaches. This time we have, 30 plus coaches. So you'll have a lot more support. How many of us here for the first time in the hackathon? Wow, a lot of first timers. That's awesome. But it's good to see a lot of people coming here back again, repeating for the hackathon. So for those of you who are new, there is, obviously you've all watched the live stream. Everybody watched the live stream? Yes? No? Anybody who didn't watch the live stream? Okay, handful of people. So for your benefit, who didn't see the live stream, the run of the show is pretty much within the next hour. You've all formed teams. You're going to get to know what the rules are. Anubis is going to come here, explain to you what the prizes are and what's going to happen. He's going to tell you the entire lay of the next, let's say, 24 to 36 hours. And in the end, you're here competing, obviously, to win some prizes. But more importantly, Intellibus is also looking to find the best talent, because we are growing as a company. We're looking to hire the best engineers in the room. So best engineer doesn't mean, oh, you really know how to write great code today. It just means you have that deep desire inside you. You want to fix broken experiences. You want those potholes to go away. You want that trash to be gone from the street. And you feel it deep inside you. And if you are that person, then you are the kind of person Intellibus is looking for. And you want to do something about it. That's an engineer. And then, even if you don't know anything about coding, we'll teach you. That's what we do. But we need people with that spirit, with that desire. The Usain Bolts of software engineering. And that's one of the reasons I'm encouraged, because the fastest man on earth comes from here. So the fastest software engineer on earth should come from Jamaica, guys. Now's the time to say Jamaica. All right. So everybody say Jamaica for me, real loud. All right. That's what we're here for. So with that, I'll leave you with one thought to remember. Intelibus is about, we value great engineers, people who want to make that difference, people who want to impact the world, but more importantly, software engineers, people who want to use software as a means to do that. Of course, we are encouraging robotics and hardware and other things, but software is our core business. That's what we're about. And more importantly, it's about the ethos. The ethos is community. The reason we have 1,000 people in the room, and next time we're going to aim for 2,000 people in the room. And probably this venue is not going to hold, so we'll have to find a venue that can hold 2,000 people and feels nice. So we're working on it, right? So that may take a little longer. We wanted to do it in March, but whenever we do, there'll be 2,000 people in the room. That's our promise. And why? Because Intelibus's core ethos is community first. We care about the community. We're not waiting for the government to fix the potholes. We fixed 4 of them on the street. When you go out, you'll see. Before I got here, there were potholes. We fixed them. We're not waiting for anybody, right? Because I have to walk that road every time I go from here to Mystic Thai. I don't want to break my leg, then I won't be able to help you, right? So what's very important is to carry that community ethos. And Intelibus believes in giving before you get. That's why this hackathon is free. We're not charging a single dollar. You don't even pay for your food. And we're here to support, but we're looking for people who want to truly make a difference. Because if you can care about your country enough to make a difference in your country, to clean up the roads, to fix the potholes, to fix all the broken experiences, then you're the people that I want to take with me to every other country in the world to go fix the whole world. So thank you for being here.
So signing up for a hackathon, you're essentially signing up to be able to move from fixing broken experiences right here in Jamaica to fixing broken experiences across the world. And I want to just reiterate for a second a few things that our founder Ed said. The reality is that broken experiences essentially are solved by solutions, and each of you in this room has solutions to the various broken experiences. And of course, as we talk about advancing the goals and developing our own country, there's something that we're advancing towards here in Jamaica, and the milestone year is 2030. What's that? What's it called? No, I see people, somebody saying, it can't be, what are we advancing towards in the year 2030? Our National Development Plan Vision 2030, which aims to make Jamaica, and if you ever fail me now, so let me try this, which aims to make Jamaica what? The place of choice, to live, work, raise families, and also retire. But the point is that each of us has different solutions that we can find for the varying problems, like the potholes, like the illicit taxi operators, all of the issues that we have. You in this room can have solutions to ensuring that we fix that. And of course, a part of that is why Intelibus is having this hackathon, to provide that avenue to be able to help you, to help Jamaica. I want to also reiterate the fact that there are jobs on offer. Did you all hear that? No, look like I couldn't hear it. So let me say it again. Did somebody hear that we have jobs on offer? You got the memo. I thought there was going to be a big round of applause for the jobs. And did we say to you that some of these jobs are offering salaries of up to 10 million Jamaican dollars per year? Oh, so now you wake up. When you wake up now. And I want you to also appreciate that from our last hackathon, we hired about 40 people who participated in the hackathon, which means that you have the opportunity to leave this experience, not just with bragging rights to say you were a part of history, being a part of the largest hackathon of its kind in the English-speaking Caribbean, but you can also walk away with cash prizes and a new job. So that 40 people, to clarify, include people who got internships, people who were hired on the spot. So lots of opportunity here. And as I prepare now to move to our next speaker, I told you I was gonna get myself in trouble, but I have to call out Knox College because they're up here. Knox Community College. So no, make nice, me calling the out. Wolmer's is also here. So somebody said I must make noise for call out Wolmer's. Excelsior Community College. Glenmuir High School. Manchester High. The Michael University College. The ladies from Hampton are also here. Of Vauxhall. My aunt is vice principal at Vauxhall, so I'd get myself in trouble. But again, every single school that's here, we're so happy to have you. So as we move the program along, and somebody's in my ear saying, big up Vauxhall. You have a past student down there. But as we move to the next part of the program, we have another Wattal who's going to come forward to give you an appreciation of the Hackathon Challenge release. And he's going to give you some insights into some of the solutions that or issues that you can look to solve those broken experiences and some steps you can take to do that. This gentleman, I think, his mind is just absolutely brilliant. And his approach to thinking is quite methodical and precise. And I appreciate his approach to just thinking through processes and finding solutions. And you'll see some of that on display. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to ask you to put your hands together for, I'm going to call him the young Wattal, and this Wattal who's going to come forward and give us the background on the Hackathon Challenge release. Please put your hands together for him.
Okay, hello everyone. Can you guys all hear me? Yes, awesome. So what I wanted to go over, not just what the actual challenge is and challenges are that you all will have to build a solution around during the hackathon, but as well as what the actual cash prizes are and what are the prize categories as well. So to start off with, I think you've heard Ed and everyone here talk a lot about broken experiences. And at the last hackathon, the challenge that we had was to build a real-time experience, which meant find something in your life or something that you believe is a broken experience and build a solution that is then a real-time solution for that broken experience. This time, the main prize category is also building a real-time experience, which means think about in your life, what are the broken experiences? What are the things that you feel, hey, I want to have the opportunity to fix that, and build a real-time solution to solve and fix that broken experience. So for that, we have a first, second, and third place prize for building a real-time experience. The first place prize is $5,000 US. The second place prize is $3,000 US, and third place prize is $2,000 US. Those are cash prizes. But this time, we also have a completely separate category of prizes beyond the main real-time experience prizes. Those are called the Speed Lab prizes. There are 5 of them. There's the Speed Champion prize, which is $5,000 US. There's the Speed Accelerator prize, which is $4,000, Speed Igniter, which is $3,000, Speed Innovator, which is $2,000, and Speed Trailblazer, which is $1,000. So those are in addition to the main real-time experience prizes. Now, I hope the question on everyone's mind is, hey, if there's already these first, second, and third place prizes that are $5,000 each, what's different about this Speed Lab prizes? What are they about? So the difference is with the Speed Lab prizes, in the real-time experience prize, you are welcome to build anything that you feel is a solution to a broken experience you have. But the Speed Lab prizes, there are 4 very specific solutions that we are looking for. The details of which, if you've registered on the Hackathon platform, if you go in, you will see there's a documents module within there where there's 4 documents which describe the 4 different categories or specific solutions that we're looking for. The first one is we are looking for a solution that solves a problem that we have, which is a broken experience that we have around domain name registration and DNS configuration. The second one is around vendor onboarding. Then we have one on an AI message scheduling system. And the last one is on an agile squad attendance management system. On the actual Hackathon platform, there are documents which explain in detail what the functional requirements are that we're looking for. But what I want to stress is that those are very much guidelines and very much our viewpoint of what we think a solution to that broken experience looks like. But if you have a different viewpoint, if you believe, hey, maybe you don't need something this complicated, you can build something a lot simpler that achieves a lot of the same goals and outcomes, you're more than welcome to go and take that approach. And we strongly encourage you to think about what could be a better solution to these 4 problems. Those documents are more there just to explain what is the problem and what are we looking for in a solution, something that addresses those areas and those concerns. So those are the Speed Lab prizes. There's also 2 other categories of prizes. One is impact prizes. There's a prize for education impact, accessibility impact, and social impact. The prizes for these are speakers that we are giving. And then there's also a category for the best high school project, for which we're offering a 24-inch desktop monitor. And there will also be, in the middle of the hackathon, if you were here last time, we ran a Capture the Flag competition. And for that Capture the Flag, the winner of that competition will win a 24-inch monitor as well. And that wraps up the main set of prizes. There are also 2 other prizes that we're offering. One is for the best coach for our coaches in the room. That'll be 2.5K USD, so $2,500 US. And there's also one for the best faculty mentor, which is another 2.5K or $2,500 US. And those are all of the prizes. And I think that wraps up the main requirements and description of what the challenges are and what the prizes are. All more detail to this is going to be also uploaded in an additional document within the Hackathon platform as well, which you can see by going to the documents section within there. But thanks, everyone.
So my broken experience just now is that I can't teleport because I wish that I could have teleported just now from the back of the room. But let's give Anubis another round of applause, please. And of course, he shared with you some insights into the prizes, and you'll have a better understanding of some of the running as the program goes on. As well as he shared with you, you will have the opportunity to, for instance, vote for your best coach, and we have a number of other spot prizes and so on that you will be able to benefit from throughout the proceedings. Now, to talk you through the idea of team finalization and strategy, I'm gonna invite Andre Booth, who's gonna come forward and share with us some insights on team finalization and strategy. And this gentleman is very intuitive, very strategic, very into every detail and ensuring that we have a smooth running today. And I want him to come on the stage because if you see, as he comes up, and give him a round of applause, please. Anyone you see in a gray shirt, that means they are a coach. So gray shirts mean, and those coaches are going to be very crucial to you and your experience here and how you navigate the various challenges. So again, let's put your hands together for him. All yours.
Hi again, everyone. I spoke to you guys earlier about team formation, so I'm just going to reiterate that. To my right, this is where the people without the teams are going to be, and you can go here to form your teams. You will be assisted by my coaches, again, those of us in gray shirts, right? So we're going to be doing that for at least 15 minutes. Please make sure your team is registered on the platform, right? That is crucial for you guys, okay? And ask any questions of my coaches as well. They're here to assist you throughout this event. Good hacking.
Thank you so very much, Andre. Now, of course, there's some other very, very important people in the room. But before I get to them, I'm going to briefly ask our volunteers to just wave your hands volunteers in the room. They're identified by their gold shirts. Let's give our volunteers a round of applause. So if you have any questions that you may need answered, some support, our volunteers will be able to assist. Now, if you see someone in a purple shirt, and I'm not seeing anyone in a purple shirt in the room right now, but our purple shirters are our team leads, and they also will be able to answer some questions for you. Anyone you see in black, like men in black, they are, can you guess who they are? They're security. Yeah, man, you get 10 cool points just now. But anybody you see in black or black IntelliBus shirts, they are security. And the folks I'm about to introduce, led by Tanya, are the people who you want to impress. Because these people in white shirts are our judges. So at this time, I'm going to invite Tanya to come to the stage, and she is going to give us an appreciation of what the judges are looking forward to in this experience. Well, while Tanya will be doing the presentation, I'm going to actually invite all our judges to make their way to the platform, and you want to give them an extra special round of applause as they come. Because who knows, they might look for who clapped the loudest and give them some extra special pointers. But please make them welcome as they come to the stage. And I understand that Tanya is going to give us an appreciation of what the judges are looking forward to. And this is actually a Q&A, so I'm not sure if we do have some roving microphones. So if you do have any questions as well for judges. And Anui, who is in a red shirt, and red shirts indicate managers. So if you have questions as well for our team managers, they're able to also provide some answers to you. So Tanya is coming. Put your hands together for her.
All right. Good morning, everybody. It's so impressive to see everyone here. These are our judges. We will be wearing a white shirt, and I'll say judge in the back. We are looking for innovation throughout today's session and looking for the best solutions, those that meet the criteria, as well as the judges will come around to just get to know the teams, individuals, and ensure that we will guide you to a coach if you need some help with that. But we also will be looking at the very solutions you're putting forth, so our judging will become more simple as we go through the evening. We will pare down the teams, and then we will make a final decision. We're impartial, so we're not here to help you solve your problems, but we're here to direct you to the right folks. But really curious and excited about what you're going to put forth today.
Thank you so very much, Tanya. So we're going to actually have the judges introduce themselves. They're smiling for a lovely photo opportunity now, but as they do that, we're going to have our judges introduce themselves coming all the way down the line. So go ahead.
Hi, my name is Mick Bodnick, and I'm excited to be here in Jamaica. Great to see the huge turnout today, and I wish you all the best of luck, and just follow what comes to you, be yourself, and don't be nervous of the judges. We're just here to help, and we will redirect your questions to the coaches, and thanks for having us.
That's okay. Yeah. Hey, my name is Edward Zerbo. Been with IntelliBus for the past 5 years now. So congratulations to all of you for being here, and best of luck.
Hi, my name is Sid Sharma, and I've been with IntelliBus for almost 4 years. Really excited to see what you guys will build today. Thank you.
Name is Matthew Stone, president of the Jamaica Artificial Intelligence Association. So it's actually my second time judging. I'm excited to see what you guys develop. All I'll say is the fact that you guys are here, you're all winners, all right? I know you guys trying to win some money, but the fact that you guys are here and the fact that you guys are going to stay overnight and come back tomorrow,
That's what matters. So don't give up and just show your best. All right?
Hi, morning everyone. My name is John Matthew Sinclair. So this is the first time at Intellibus for me, but not the first time at a hackathon. But this is also the first time at a hackathon with the use of AI. So I'm really excited to see what innovative, interesting, and creative stuff you guys come up with. So I'll be roving, open for talk, looking forward to it.
Hi, Jeremy Rosenberger here. I'm in Telebus for about 1.5 years, but in the industry for more than 30. So I'm thrilled to see the energy here today, and I'm excited to be in Jamaica here for the first time. But I'm even more excited to see what you guys can create this weekend. So thanks for being here.
Hi everyone, I'm Shiva. I've joined Intellibus just last week, but heard great things about the March Hackathon, and really looking forward to some great solutions being built today. And all the best to all of you.
Hey everyone, my name is Ani. I'm not from Intellibus. I spent the last decade or so at Amazon building different AI products. And most recently, I lead AI at a startup, a video AI startup. I'm really blown away to see the participation and energy here. It's very exciting. I'm thrilled to see what you guys build, and all the best to everyone.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Hitesh Parashar. I run a Gen AI app development company based in San Francisco Bay Area. So happy to see so many curious, eager faces ready to build. If for some of you who are going through this for the first time, this is going to be an amazing experience. You will not sleep for the next 36 hours. There's a lot of coffee, so keep going. And with these AI tools that our coaches will tell you, it's actually possible to build really, really meaningful solutions for these broken experiences. So go build something, and looking forward to what you all are working on. And as some of my friends said, we are not the scary judges. We are here to help. We'll come and talk to you and share all your great ideas that you're working on. Thank you.
Hello, folks. My name is Mukesh Jain, and I'm also from San Francisco Bay Area. And I also work at AI application at Amazon. And I'm really looking forward to getting inspired by all your ideas. Like last night, I heard what you all built in the March Hackathon. So I'm really looking forward to that, and wish you all the best.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jaideep Kulkarni. I go by JD. Some of you know Jack Daniels, so remember that. My name is JD. I am not anti-pattern here. I'm working on my white shirt. You'll see me in some time in white shirt. So when I come from LA, I've been part of Intellibus for some time now. And I work with some of these finals gentlemen here. These are great people with a lot of experience. And pretty sure you guys know that we have participated also in hackathons, not just judged it. So actually when Ed asked us to come and judge it, it was like, can we participate also? That was some of the things that came to our mind, because it's one of the most thrilling experience that I believe that you are going to go through. That next 24 hours, that is going to be the best time of your life they're going to remember. And remember, you're working with Intellibus, you're going to have a ton of great people and coaches, as you can already see already. Wish you best of luck, and we'll love to see you, everybody, in person in next 24 hours. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I think you guys can see that we have an impressive panel of folks. I don't know if I introduced myself, Tanya Korea from Intellibus. I've been with them for about 6 months, and I'm very honored to be here and be with this panel of folks who are just bringing in amazing talent to help evaluate the solutions you put forth. We are now going to move into the Q&A session, so we are ready to take questions from the audience.
So we have some roving microphones, so we're inviting you to go ahead and pose those questions. Andrew has his hand up with a microphone there. So if you have questions, please just raise your hands and we will have our roving microphone coming to you. So there's one question at the front here, Andrew. So that roving microphone is coming. And I understand that there's another one somewhere. So please just have your hands raised. There's another question at the back right after. Go ahead.
Probably need to turn it on.
All right, so let me just make my way down.
Once we start one, I'm confident you guys are going to have many more. So please take advantage of the panel here. Sorry.
All right, just a quick question. When we are building these apps from scratch, if I have components that for like input elements where I have my label up top and error messages below, can I reuse those components? I just copy them over instead of having to rebuild them from scratch in my new project?
I'm thinking the answer is yes, because we want reusability. Anybody on the panel have anything different?
Yeah, just useful components that I've made across my projects that I found useful.
Yep, reusability.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Don't worry, not copy pasting from a whole app, just small components. But yeah,
Just make sure you're not using like 50% or more than that. It doesn't make any sense. And if these are small utility components, that's great, but we really want to see you actually code, right? There are multiple ways to resolve errors. One of them is using a component, other way is not using it, turning around and doing it something differently. That's also very valuable input for us when judging, okay? Thank you.
All right, there's another roving microphone at the back, and there's a gentleman or a lady. Let me see, a gentleman with a question. Mr. Powell, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Mr. Keys. So apart from the question that I'm sure everyone has on their mind about the internet, for those who can check, I was told the document section is supposed to have some information on some of the prizes, but the document section is currently blank. When will we have that addressed? And again, back to the obvious question, the internet situation is not the best.
All right, so that's something that we're gonna be addressing momentarily, Kamali. So if you give us some time, we will be addressing the matter of the internet concern. But don't worry, I'm telling you that when we're to kick off at noon, all will be well and we'll be having things going. All right, so bear with us on that. Thank you so very much. Mr. McIntosh, you have a question? All right, in the meantime, we do have another roving microphone. So I'm gonna ask that, Travis, if you can bring that microphone to this person here as I come to Mr. McIntosh at the front. Go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. So just a little background. I do applied data science at the University of the West Indies, Mona. It's a small program. It's like 20 of us, right? But we're what you would consider the closest thing at the UA towards this exact field of AI. I know that Intellibus is saying that they're coming to Jamaica. They're trying to find a space. I saw it in the news like yesterday. I want to know, like, when it comes to universities in Jamaica, are there plans to collaborate with us to kind of build out our programs? As I said, it's 20 of us, 25 of us in my program, but we're looking really to expand because where we're going right now is like basic Python, kind of like SQL and everything, but we really want to go into that Gen AI space, that kind of the new technologies and everything. So I think you can take a look at expanding to the universities and UE and collaborating there, because I think there's a lot of persons who are interested, but our programs still need a little bit of help when it comes to the technologies that you guys are doing here, especially at this hackathon. Maybe having a university-based one. I don't know. But something like that I think would be helpful.
This is a test.
Since you guys are looking to expand in Jamaica.
Checking for sound, audio, and clarity. Yes, testing.
Yeah, so I believe that we are currently partnering with the local universities to be able to align the curriculum to the technologies that Intellibuzz is searching for. So that is definitely something that the organization is doing. But I will add any of my panel, my judges, to come and add. Yeah, and that's something we can add. We can ask Ed to share that path as well.
Well, I can actually add, we are actually currently in discussions with Ms. Maynard from the University of the West Indies. So that's something that's ongoing. We also are in discussions with UTech. So I know Ed and the team from Core Intellibus will be able to address some of those questions, but I can absolutely say with certainty that yes, the plan is to have that synergy going so we can have more of you from UE, UTech, UCC, IUC, wherever you are, NCU, across the board involved, and we can help to bring you up to that place where generative AI and coding is something that you and Intellibus can do together. All right, we have another question.
Yes, thank you so much, guys.
Oh, yeah, question. What would be the judging experience? Like, what would it be like?
So it's asking, what would the judging experience be like? So perhaps, giving an appreciation of what that would be like, what that process, perhaps what goes into your thought process.
Hello. Hello. So what you'll see is, as a judging panel, we'll be walking around throughout the 24 hours. We'll want to know you. We want to know what you're doing, how you're doing it. And so at the 24 hours, we're going to spend time getting to know you, right? That's really the most important. We want to also understand what you're working on, how complex it is and all. After those 24 hours experience, you're going to submit your project, right? We're going to look at your code. We're going to look at the complexity. We're going to look at technical innovation. We're going to look at presentation. There's a lot of components that we're going to go look through, but all of those things will happen after you submit your project. While you're working on the project itself, we will just be walking around and getting to know you, understand you. It helps us understand how much gap have you covered in 24 hours, and that's also an important component. So apart from innovation, technological innovation, things like scalability, UI, all those things are super important. But all those things will be measured after you submit your project. Till then, we will just be reviewing what's going on. Is that right?
Another question?
Thank you so very much. We have another question at the back. Go ahead.
Activities are available.
All right, I think we missed the first part of that question, so can you go again?
What opportunities or activities are available here at the hackathon for people in the UI or UX field, whether they're a beginner or an experienced professional?
She's asking what opportunities are here for persons who are in the UI, that's user interface, user experience space, here at the hackathon. So that's a question that perhaps...
Yep. For UI, UX, and design, most of these tools, AI tools, if you see, they start from defining the experience. What are you trying to get out of the tool? What is the problem that you're trying to solve? Who you are solving it for? So designers are ideal for that. So that's where a lot of this starts. So engineers, yes, we will build it, but there is a lot of morphing of these roles between engineering and design that's happening. So those who come from design experience, please be a part of these teams, lead them through, who you are solving it for. Are you really solving that problem really well? Go deep into that user experience and be a part of these teams. So you will be invaluable. So as we call in the AI new era, some of these new jobs will be for these taste makers. So these designers will be the taste makers, and they'll be prompting AI to build based on the design that you want to manifest. Okay?
Thank you so very much. We have a question on this side of the room. Oh, before you give your question, you want to add to the response.
Yeah, I'm just responding to that question as well. So UI, UX is also very important. So I want to emphasize that. In fact, last time when we had the hackathon, we actually chose people that specialize in UI, UX to be recommended for jobs as well. So yes, if you're here and your specialty is UI, UX, you're also important to the hackathon as well.
Thank you so very much for adding that.
Yes.
There's a question right here. Go ahead.
Yes, my question is actually, are you guys looking for specific technologies or tech stack while judging?
Could you say that again?
Yes, are you guys looking for specific technologies or tech stack while judging?
So are you looking for a specific tech stack or a set of technologies while judging?
Yeah, so we're not looking for any specific tech stack. So the important thing is fixing broken experiences. So that's the important part of the hackathon, real-time experiences. So if you want to use Java, if you want to use Python, whatever is comfortable to you, that's my advice.
All right, we have a question on this side, and then a number of hands in this side of the room here. So if you can take the microphone there, that would be useful. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm Michael Thomas. Pleasure to meet you.
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
I'm Michael Thomas.
Much-
Pleasure to meet you all. I just wanted to know what metrics you guys have for, let's say, solutions across different categories. For example, someone comes up with a solution that saves millions of dollars and another that saves millions of lives. How do you guys decide what team wins?
I don't think we got did you hear the
I think he's-
categories that
he's
you
asking
said?
about the judging rubric.
The
All right, so-
metrics.
Really, it's going to be around innovation. Are you actually solving the problem that we are? Is there a broken problem that you're providing an innovative solution? So obviously, technology is a component of it, but it's really are you creating something that is unique that provides value? And just so we're narrowing down the solutions, and then we're valuing them as a team as well. So their basic criteria beyond the technology are you solving for the broken problem that you've presented? Anybody else have anything to add?
I think the part of the question was that like how big the impact will be, right? So at this stage, right, like if you are really solving for the broken experiences and your technology is good, the use cases could be anything, right? Like, so you can make it really big or small depending on how well you solve for it, right? So focus on the innovation, focus on the solving it really well. Don't worry about too much like what the financial impact of that solution would be, right? And we will figure that out later.
All right, thank you very much. We have another question here in the room and also another hand here.
Hello. My question is, at what point in your career did you decide to specialize in what you guys are doing? Because a lot of you judges, well, all of you guys have good experience, great experience. So what was the factor that led you to specialize? And do you plan to branch out even this late or this experience in your career?
I'm afraid I didn't hear all of that, but I think the gist of it was, at what point did I specialize? As I said before, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've never picked a specialty, actually. And I think AI is a great enabler of that I think is going to be able to do, anything you want to do. We heard Ed talk earlier about, what software engineers are and what they do. And you're always going to find interesting problems to solve. And there's going to be technologies are going to come and go, and industries are going to come and go. So, as long as you're passionate about, what you're doing, you can apply it anywhere you want to. That's what's so exciting about it.
All right, thank you so very much. We do have a question towards the back, and then we'll come here.
Yeah, hello. Good morning. I'm Fitz. I would like to know what do you guys classify as a real-time application? For example, a chat app, people sending messages back and forth, that could be classified as real-time. I want to know what are you using to judge whether or not an app is real-time, so that we can reduce the scope of the applications that are allowed to be developed.
Who's gonna take that one? Do we consider as real-time applications? Too many people able to answer, so they're figuring out who's gonna take that question. In the meantime, so we're standing by we have quite a number of other hands in the room in the meantime. So while they're responding to that one, Mr. Lily, there are a few hands up here as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so a real-time application, right? One of the key thing is that like lot of software, because it can't connect with the other system as the things happen, right? So the data gets stale, the data is old, and sometimes the information you get is from yesterday or the week before, or the systems are batched, things like that, right? So if you can build a system where you can connect to the other system in real time and get the data as it happens, right? The experience of using that software becomes much better, right? you can make decisions much faster. So, like, the world is moving more and more real time. I know, like, not everything can be real time, but strive to become real time as much as possible. That's what we mean by real time.
Didn't hear the last part.
Oh, yeah. If I can just add one thing to that, right? I would put it as uh, don't worry about how quickly you respond to a change. Like, I don't think it's about the latency of the response. I think it's more about if the state of the world has changed, has your system started to respond to that, right? I think that's the main catch because many times the world has changed, but the system is still working on older data. As long as you start responding to stimulus to change in the data, I think that's real time enough.
So the way I look at, and this is a good question, by the way, thanks for asking. The way I look at as a real-time system is a system that has a feedback in it, right? So a real-time system in Google Maps would be a system, for example, that sees the traffic and then eases the traffic, right? Like people are responding to what they're actually seeing and doing. That's a real-time system in my mind. That's a real-time experience. If you are, it's not about necessarily reacting to real-time data, is something in my mind that we can use to do something important in real time, right? So can we use the data in real time? That's one way of looking at it. There's multiple ways to looking at it, but an experience is something that we can see something happening, respond to it, and then fix the problem, right? That's like a real-time loop. So that's one way to look at it.
Thank you so very much. Our next question.
All right, good morning, guys. Just asking for a moment of your time. Morning again, judges. I've heard a lot of technical questions being asked, and I think something that was really touched on this morning was that a lot of our problem solving isn't necessarily to do with the technical aspects of it. There's a lot of psychological aspects to it as well. So my question to you guys is, what are your expectations, especially when it regards to judging, of us as it relates to how we approach problems? I believe you had mentioned something about you're expecting innovation. What about versatility or flexibility? You guys mentioned complexity. What is it that you are really looking for within us as developers, as well as the UX and UI professionals, that we ourselves can be aware of at this point in time? Because I understand that there are some things you won't tell us. So what can we be aware of now that will assist us in better focusing on what you want from us?
I'm going to let the panel call out a word that they value in terms of their judging. So, for example, I will look for curiosity, and I'm going to pass it down for them to mention how they evaluate the individuals.
On curiosity?
Yeah, like what word would describe somebody that what are you looking for? One word.
One word, okay. Yeah. Okay, let me.
Okay. Leah, let me, in the meantime. So we really value, so even if you're coming up, this is just 36 hours, right? So there's not much time for you to showcase everything that you have. But if you showcase, this is the problem I'm solving, and here one word that Tanya asked me, novelty. Like, what is the new thing that I saw in terms of like, I didn't think of, you can solve this problem like this, right? It's something new that you came up with, that impresses us. So if you can think of a differentiated way than what everyone else is doing, some novelty in your solutions, right?
Yeah, so the Ed talked about the broken experiences, right? So one thing I will say I will look for is that, like, and it's a two words, invent and simplify, right? Like, you're looking at the problem from a different angle and coming up with a like simple solution, right? How can you simplify the solution so that it could scale? So that's the thing I will be looking for.
For me, I would emphasize first principles thinking. The way you would solve a problem today would be different from how you would have solved it 10 years ago, but that's fine. Just break it down to first principles and solve it the best way you can today.
So for me, it is the impact of the what kind of solution we're building. So when you solve a problem, like what impact are we creating? And in terms of technical judging, I would say how well does it scale and extensible, right? those are the great examples.
I'm going to try to stick to the spirit of the one-word answer that Tanya asked us for, and I would say creativity.
All right, on my side, it's about value. So ensure that you're very clear in the value that you want to create for your end user. That you have to be very clear with that, and that's something that we're going to be looking at.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, any problem that it doesn't necessarily have to be some impressive problem, right? At the end of the day, just ensure that it's a real problem, meaning you can justify that problem, and then you execute. The important thing at the end of the day is whatever problem you choose, you actually execute and build something. So that's the most important.
For me, it's lucidity. Can you explain why we are solving this problem, and is this problem need to be solved in the first place? And then build on that. So I'll be looking for that. Thank you.
For me, it's mostly about counterintuitivity, right? Since you all have access to LLMs, ChatGPT, it's level setting, right? So everybody has access to that. So we want to see the different approaches that you take to solving a problem. Even if you don't have a complete solution, at least the way you were thinking about the problem, the way you think about solving it is the differentiating factor, and that's mostly what I'm looking for.
Collaboration. Everyone's mentioned technical solutions, and I think I'm going to be focusing on, not everyone in the room is as technical. I don't want to turn this into some strongest man competition. I want it to be more of identifying people who have great potential to do great things in a great team. And I think it's exciting to see everyone here and looking forward to connecting with those who I get to meet.
Absolutely, giving us some insight into what they're looking for
Can I
as
say one
judges.
more?
Sure thing,
We got
Tanya,
one more
go
for
ahead.
person, but one of the other words that I think we're looking for is for everybody to have high integrity as how you do this. Because while you are either within a team or with a joint team, how you show up with integrity is going to speak volumes to us as well.
Yeah, so you heard the whole panel's point of view. To summarize it, we definitely look for execution, and we definitely look for collaboration. It's not the complexity of the program, but we are building a software. It has to be workable, deployable, usable right away. That's a very important thing. And if you ask this question to Ed, he's going to say software is built in Spain, and he has a certain acronym for Spain. It says S is scalable, P is performant, A is available, I is integrity, data integrity also, and human integrity is also important for Intellibus, and N is novel. So if any one thing you want to take away, you want to build a software in Spain, and then you want to be collaborative, and you need to deliver it. If you don't deliver, all the work is kind of not helpful.
Remind them of the meaning of Spain for me. I want you to go through it, the acronym once again for them so they can hear.
So Spain stands for S for scalable, P for performant, A for available, I for integrity, and N for novel.
All right, so we have a new acronym there, and who knows? We may absolutely have a prize for the person who can remember it at the end of the day. In the meantime, we have another question here in the room. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. I just have a quick question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Will opportunities be present for persons with minimal coding skills, but they have the drive to fix broken experiences and make a change?
I don't even need the judges to answer that question. The answer is yes. So if you listen to our commercials inviting persons to participate, you need no coding experience to be here. You just need a drive and the ability to be willing to and open to learn. So the easy answer to that is yes, yes, and yes. Next question, I understand the microphone is with someone. Go ahead.
All right, so excluding the main prizes, for the sectional prizes, when are the winners for those prizes determined? Throughout the event or afterwards?
Throughout. So we have a prize giving ceremony tomorrow afternoon. Yes. So at the end of all your arduous work. We're going to have a prize giving ceremony at towards the end, and that's where you will find out what solutions. Of course, the judges by then will have seen all of the solutions throughout the day, and I can tell you from the last experience, being in the top 10 is not the only factor that will see you winning a prize. There could be someone who gets a sectional prize that's not in the top 10 at all. So just think out of the box, build solutions, build on ideas that you have, and you never know. But the judges will be seeing all of your solutions throughout the period, and they'll be able to then decide which solution may be given or granted the accolade for a particular sectional prize. So it's throughout the experience. Any other questions? See a hand up on that side. So let's see how we can get that microphone going all the way over there. Oh, while it does, hang on, we have a question here. No, before you go.
So I wanted to ask, like, for your personal experience, what allowed you to choose like your specific, like your coding language, and what like UI, UX, front end, back end, what allowed you to choose that?
I would say pick anything that you like to work in. I love Go, but I don't like to work in it. I like to work in Python. So you'll be most successful in a language that you like to work in and think in terms of that language. Eventually, you will be able to, you need to learn all different languages. Like we have 30 years of experience, and I started my career in COBOL, right? Like, and now I'm doing all kinds of different things. So there's no one thing, there's no one answer to it. But for a hackathon, pick a language that will make you successful and be able to deliver and do all the things. It doesn't matter the choice of language. That's secondary in my mind.
All right. Anyone else wants to add?
I mean, I'll just share my personal experience. When I was just starting out, I just tried everything. So my advice to you, try as much as you can, and eventually you'll find what you like. That's it.
So I wanted to add one more thing there. So each language does something better than the everything else, right? Like for example, Python is good at use cases where machine learning is. Similarly, Go is good with concurrency. So pick your use case and then go with the language instead of focusing on the language itself. So, yeah.
If I can just balance the perspective a little, I would say for the hackathon, pick a stack and language where you can move fast, right? It's not, the goal is not to build an actual production solution, so move fast. But in general, I would say there's no right answer ever to picking a stack or language, right? It's always a trade-off. It depends on the use case and depends on specific requirements for the system you're building. So always evaluate both sides of the trade-off.
Yeah, I'll just add something real quick here. Especially for those who are coming with a non-technical background. And I know there are prizes here for the language that you worked in, your proficiency in JavaScript or TypeScript or any of that. But the language where everything is heading to in terms of how we code is English. And that's what you are prompting the LLM. So especially
I want you to say that again, because I think there are some people in the room who might have missed that. Repeat what you just said.
Yeah, so where it's going is if you understand the problem that you are trying to solve and you can articulate that in English, that's enough. LLM will take care of translation from English to JavaScript or English to TypeScript.
Yeah, I will take a step further and I will say even English is not important because LLM can do the translation for you. So what's important is that, like, can you describe the broken experience, right? If you can well define this is the broken experience and this is the solution I want in the language you are comfortable with. Let's say English or Jamaican or Dutch or Portuguese, doesn't
O español,
matter.
cualquier idioma que hablas, sí.
So that's what
I would say that at the end of the day, we try to solve business problems as engineers as anything, right? So that is really also the focus, right? And I think that's what they've described: comfortable communication, and are you solving the real problem? So the languages are multiple. Thank you. All right.
All right, we do have another question.
Okay, all right. So my question is mainly geared towards scholarships available for individuals who are interested in pursuing a degree in software engineering or applied in artificial intelligence. Now the question is, what is the requirement for someone to attain this scholarship and where they can take this scholarship to go? What are the universities available for these scholarships?
Well, that's a very broad brush question. I don't know if Jay, I don't know if any particular person wants to take that, but broadly, I mean, if I can start off by giving a little context as well, and then I'll hand over to you. The truth is there are a number of scholarships that are offered annually, and those requirements may not be, we in this room may not be able to give you the requirements and expectations for them, but I always say, look at the various university websites because they also have scholarship portals that may be able to give you some insights on what they look for. But you can also go ahead and respond.
Okay, so as judges, we are tracking groups of people and teams, and we are going to be scoring them. And the ones who, there's going to be 3 tiers. Obviously, we have the 3 teams who will win based on having what we deem or vote collectively as the winner, first, second, and third place prizes for the cash prize. And then additionally, we will be providing, we will be evaluating individuals. So that's a team prize for the cash prize.
Sure.
Believe. And then individually, we will evaluate each individual, and we will bucket them into 2 categories. If somebody shows great potential, but we think they need a little bit more skill or training to get to a higher level, we're not going to just say, sorry, you won't get an internship with us. We'll say, you have great potential. Let's keep in touch. You can attend our AI master classes, get certification, build your skills, level up, all for free, which normally costs thousands of US dollars. And that's the scholarship opportunity that many of you have a chance to receive. And then that could move on to you potentially becoming an intern or working with our Intellibus as an employee. And then some of you, we may see, wow, this person has the chops. They've been doing this for years. They don't need an AI academy. They're already at that level. So these people we will identify and shortlist for internship opportunities and employment opportunities to be a part of our team without going through the scholarship program. So I hope that answers your question and gives you a little bit of motivation and excitement to the multiple levels of opportunities we have today.
Sure, absolutely. And that's for us here specifically at Intellibus. But to zone into your question in particular, because you were a little bit more broad as it relates to scholarship opportunities for universities and other institutions. So as I said to you earlier, each institution offering scholarships outside of the universities, they'll have their own varying criterion. So I'd say to you, every year, which grade are you in now, or which form are you in? You can shout it and you're in high school? You're at community college, which means you're hoping to then move to university. Now, this time of year and into early next year, the Gleaner and the Observer, they have pages of scholarships annually, and less than 80% of those scholarships are applied for. So I'll say to you, take a look at those opportunities and also look at universities across the world as well. They'll have varying scholarship offerings, and you can definitely look at what they have, what they require, and work towards it, okay? All right, thank you so very much. I understand we have another question.
If I can just add to that, in terms of what we're looking for when we're coming around as judges, it's very important that you guys understand that we're not judging just based on team prizes. We're also judging you guys individually. So when we come around, please don't talk away and hide from the judges. We're not going to bite. We're not going to intimidate you. Talk to us, right? We're actually looking for people that are passionate. This is one of the things that can make you stand out and actually help us to decide, all right, this person maybe can get a job, or maybe this person is good enough for an internship or a scholarship. So please, when the judges come around, introduce yourself, talk to us, show us your passion, and that can really help you stand out.
Thank you so very much. So I'll take one more question in the room. If we have any, if we don't have any more questions, I want us to give a round of applause to our judges. And I'm gonna invite our photographer just kindly do an official photo of the judges. So let's have an official photo opportunity for lovely judges and mark the faces. Remember these faces. They're going to be very important in the adjudication process. And if you have lots of questions, the wealth of knowledge present on this stage is immense.
Can you guys take
So
like one more question?
we can take what?
Just
All
one.
right, we're gonna.
All right, so
They're already gathered for the photo opportunity. So let's have them smile with them while they smile for the picture. And then we're gonna take that question and then we're gonna wrap things up. All right. So give them 30 seconds. Big smiles and mark the judges' faces. Remember, they're gonna be the ones helping to determine the winners from this hackathon. And now we'll take your question.
One last question.
Go ahead. Go ahead with your question.
Yes, I guess this is geared towards the repeat judges mostly. So, common pitfalls from past teams, like what are common pitfalls you guys have pointed out? And
All right, so I'll go off of what happened last time. A lot of teams tried to, they weren't very realistic about what they could build in 24 hours. So I'll start there. Ensure that whatever you're building, you can actually build within the 24 hours. I know a lot of you have some very, expansive ideas, but understand there's a time limit. I also say a lot of teams gave up. Do not give up. It may seem like you're running out of time and it may seem like your solution may not even have a chance of winning, but trust me, do not give up, just stick in there. So yeah, those are the two main things I'll say.
And since this is the last question, I was going to piggyback on that. I think last year also, to carry on with that, there were some people who were disqualified for not managing time. So time management and deliverability is an important factor in the real world, and that comes into play today. So make sure that you are tracking your progress and your time, and don't try to be a superhero and do something that's unrealistic. Do something that you're confident you can achieve, and also manage your time correctly so that you get your deliverable by the cutoff. Maybe even manage your time to finish it earlier. And then the final thing I wanted to add was, we are judges, and you might think we're judging you, and I think I would like to rename ourselves as ally. Think of us as an ally, and we're here to recognize your talent and your skills and your potential, and to help get you in the right direction to the next opportunity.
One more thing I'll add, another mistake I noted from last time is try to push your code frequently, right? A lot of teams made a mistake of waiting till the last day to try and get everything in, and as we know, Murphy's Law, things can go wrong. So please just try as much as possible, just even to get like a hello world page up as quickly as possible, and then just build on top of that.
All right.
Okay, thank you. I would say time management, frequent check-ins, all that wonderful stuff that the judges said. So
Thank you so very much. So please put your hands together for our judges. And while I invite our judges to make their way off stage, there's one judge that's going to be staying with us, and he's Mukesh Jain, an inventive, execution-driven tech leader with 20 plus years of experience building billion-dollar businesses and scaling AI products at Amazon, Walmart Labs, and high-growth startups. Mukesh currently leads science, engineering, and product for Rufus, Amazon's generative AI shopping assistant. So anybody ever went on Amazon and used Rufus? No? Yes? Come on, guys. You all go on Amazon and go rocket ship or mail pack and ship products, don't? Anybody ever use Rufus to go ahead, check out that AI? I see a hand there. Well, this gentleman is one of the persons behind that. And he's going to take a few minutes to share with you some insight on his personal experience and some tips that could be useful for you in your journey. So please put your hands together for Mukesh Jain.
Thank you. And I'm so excited to be here and to be in front of all of you, and great to see you all here. Right. So the truth is, the software industry is going through one of its biggest transformation at this moment. I have been in the industry for the last 30 years, and I have seen a lot of transformation, right? I have gone through from desktop, client server, web, mobile, cloud, social, all those things, all those phases. And at this moment, what Gen AI is able to do is just simply mind-boggling. When OpenAI launched ChatGPT back in November 2022, it really brought a huge change on how we think about software, how we develop software, how we think about what software can do. So people who have been in the software industry for some time, right? How we traditionally build software is we think about the requirements, we then go design the solution, we then code, we test, and then deploy. And as we are doing this, we think of some happy path, a fixed path, and then we think about how we will going to handle the exceptions. We can't handle all the exceptions. We try to handle as much as we can think and as much as we think that like the most common exceptions will be. But then when we deploy the software, we put the software in the user's hand and something different happens, the software can't handle that, right? Then either somebody else has to manually solve that problem, or we need to go change the code, retest it, redeploy it. But what's happening with Gen AI now, with the way we can write software, we can now write agentic AI, agentic software. I'm sure you all must have heard about the agentic AI. And this is how you should think about software development going forward. So with agentic AI, you no longer have to think software in a fixed path. Now the system itself can be intelligent. It can take different paths depending on the scenario, depending on the data it sees. It can perceive, it can reason from the context, and then it can decide the right action. I know this is like all theory, so let me try to explain that with an example. Let's say you are coding for a return use case for an e-commerce website. So I work for Amazon, you bought something on that, now customer want to return it for some reason. So the way you typically code for a return use case is that, as I said, like you will write the requirement, you do the coding, you will deploy, and then customer wants to return. At the return time, you will go look up the order information in the order database. You will try to apply some return rules, and then either you will do the refund or try to do the exchange. But what happens, right, if something different happened during that order process? Either the order got delayed or order got damaged, or it's a multi-item order and customer wants to pay it through different payment system, like which is not handled through your normal return use case. Now the system can't handle it, and somebody now you have to call customer service agent, they need to do it, handle it manually. But if you implement the same use case using agentic AI, you can think in terms of the outcome you want to provide. You want to provide the real good return experience to the customer, and the system can look into all the data it has. It can look into the customer order history, customer past purchase behavior. It can see whether it's a genuine return case or it is an abuse case, it's a fraud case. It can see whether it was delayed, whether it was damaged. Does the customer, did it not fit, like right fit for the customer wants a replacement or customer wants a refund. So it can look at through all these different scenarios and do the right thing instead of following a fixed path. So So to summarize it, like the software industry, like as you are developing software, some of the people who are new getting into the software, think in terms of the outcome, the solution you are building. You don't need to think some of the fixed path anymore. And so you can be very excited. And the good thing is that, like Ed talked about, difference between software developer and software engineer. Now anybody can be software engineer, right? You don't need to go to the fancy college to get a fancy degree to become a software engineer. 12-year-old can be a software engineer, and nurse can be a software engineer. As long as you can think in terms of the problem, what the right solution could be, how you are going to solve the solution. Now the coding can be done by Gen AI. So all of you have the potential to become a software engineer. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you so very much, Mukesh Jan. And of course, you will have the opportunity to have conversations with him and all of our other judges and coaches throughout this process. So are you ready for a hackathon? We are getting closer and closer to that time. So just a few more housekeeping matters. We are going to take a quick 15-minute break to allow for the completion of the zonings. And by then, I'll also be able to give you an update on the Wi-Fi. And then at about half noon, that's 12:30 sharp, we intend on getting the official kickoff going. So yes, your official program said initially noon, but what we're doing is shifting to 12:30. So by then, we're going to get things going. And I see somebody looking at me say, how you not say nothing about lunch? So that's also going to be taking place within the hour. So we will be taking a 15-minute break to sort through the zonings. We'll also be able to sort through lunch. And when we come back, we are going to get the show on the road. A deal? Deal? So with that said, at this time, we're going to take a quick 15-minute break. But just to also note for my final bit of housekeeping, from a safety standpoint, I must also point out to you that there are a number of exits around the room. So in what we hope to be an unlikely event of an emergency, the closest exit to you is yours. So if we do need to evacuate for whatever reason, all exits are marked with lit exit signs around the room. So in the unlikely event of an emergency, you can make use of those. So we're going to take a quick break. And when next you hear my voice, we will have the official kickoff. So DJ.